Welcome back. I'm Mr. Monty, geometry teacher at Lewis and Clark High School, and this is lesson 3 of our 2020 series in preparation for the EOC test at the end of May. Let's see now. We're on lesson 3. That means you've probably already started taking notes. We have our folder with our practice problems. Answer keys are always just outside the door each day. And we have our little flip chart with our helper notes so we can write down those vocabulary words to help them keep them in our brains on what we're going to need. So we had rays, segments, and lines in lesson 1. Lesson 2, complementary angles, supplementary angles. Complements are 90, supplements are 180. Today, endpoints, midpoints, and length. Given a graph, the xy axis with two endpoints, the actual coordinates, -2, 3, -2, 3, 2, 2, to -2. Good job. So now we have this line segment. We know what the endpoints are. We need to find the midpoints. Now, a lot of times, during an exam or a test, we're going to say, oh, I can't remember how to do that, thinking formula. Graphically. Let's start out doing this graphically. If this is -2 and this is +2, think of a number line. We need to find the midpoint, halfway on the x-axis. So, if we went in, -1, +1, we go in one more. Good job, 0. So we actually found one of the midpoints graphically. Let's try to do it again graphically on the y's. If we start here, and we have to come down to here, we have -2 and a +3. Think of it as a number line. If we go in to -1, we go into 1 and 0. It's not going to meet on a perfect number, is it? No. But you can see it, can't you? Went in 1, we went in 1. It's going to be at 1/2. So we could actually write the midpoint graphically. So graphically, we could actually say 0, 1/2. Now, let's make sure that we remember how to do it with math. All we were actually doing was taking the two extremes, the two endpoints, adding them together, finding the middle, finding the average. Yeah, divide by 2. X plus x divided by 2. So, -2 plus a 2. Divided by 2. Well, -2 plus 2, that's a 0. Divided by 2, which is 0. So far, so good. Now we'll do the y's. Y midpoint is y plus y divided by 2. Well, let's see if we can find those. But -2 and a 3. -2 plus 3 divided by 2. -2 plus 3, that's 1 divided by 2. Well, we got it. So, graphically, we got the 0, 1/2. And doing it math-wise, algebraically, 0, 1/2. The next thing, our friend Pythagoras, we've got to find the length of this segment. Now, Pythagoras knew if he could make a right triangle, he could take the two legs. But you can always get a right triangle by going straight down and straight across. Let's do that. Straight down, straight across. We have our leg 1 and our leg 2. He said, leg 1 squared plus leg 2 squared equals the hypotenuse squared. All we got to do is find those lengths. Well, didn't we sort of already do that when we were doing the midpoint? Let's see it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units squared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units squared equals the hypotenuse squared. 4 times 4, 16. 5 times 5, 25. The hypotenuse squared. Add them together. 41 equals the hypotenuse squared. Now, don't get freaked out here. Just remember, if I need to find hypotenuse by itself, I have to do something to both sides of the equation. Well, that's where we take that square root, the radical sign. Okay? So, let's do that. Square root of 41 is the actual value for the hypotenuse, but I want to make sure that you see this part right here. The square root of hypotenuse squared. Well, that's just hypotenuse times hypotenuse. Any two numbers multiplied by itself, the square root of that is. And if you remember back in algebra when we were studying this, we used to say, when I have a pair, one breaks out, one dies trying. So the actual hypotenuse is the square root of 41. Wow, look at all the things that you've learned throughout this year using your algebra from the year before. Make sure you take some notes on this, especially on the Pythagorean theorem, how to find the length of a line. We'll see you next time when you come back for lesson number 4.